many ways. Literally change that word and you change the result, because your mind, think about it, your mind is not now asking, can I or can't I do that? That's not even a question. There is no opportunity for your mind to say, I can't do that, because how many ways tricks you to think that, oh, there is no. So I'm now challenged with thinking all of the possibilities. And it's not even just what way can I do this, because then you will stop at whatever you think right away. The trick is how many ways can you do it? Because literally it's a plural. Plural means you must at least think of two, but I would say challenge yourself to literally think of how many ways can you do this. When I was when I was scrambling for money, when there was the pandemic that was happening and everything was going on, and oh my gosh, who knows? There's lots of unknown. I would get into a little depressive state, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do something. I'm not going to be able to make the payment to the lenders, all this stuff, whatever, fear, all those things, maybe rightly so coming in at times, but I would say not rightly so. I challenged myself with that own question, how many ways can I make money? How many ways can I make this work? And then holy smokes, I ended up having some notepad that had 25 lines on it. And I swear I had 20 different ways of making money right there, because it just asked that question, how many ways? And I'm like, ooh, what's another way? Ooh, because as you get more and more of them, man, it just feels more possible. You feel more full of yourself, your happiness. And then it's like, okay, now I have 20 different ways that I can make money from this. Now I can rank which ones make more sense for me, which ones are like the faster ways or the bigger ways, whatever your criteria is, the best way to show love to your significant others and things like that. But you're not stuck. Your mind doesn't think, can I or can't I? Because that's not the question. It's how many ways. That helps me all the time. I'm going to tell you, just reframe that question to yourself all the time. Try it. Just try that one thing out on yourself whenever you're feeling down about something or feeling that something is not possible. Catch yourself in that thought and then very quickly go and think, how many ways can I make this more possible? So I love that. So that's one of the things that I typically say when I'm networking with people, when I'm just looking for kind-hearted, loving people in the world, looking to do great things. At that point, I tell them, it's not can or can't we work together, because with kind-hearted, loving, trusting people, it turns into how many ways can we work together? And people resonate with that a lot. And then we start thinking of all the different ways. It's almost like your mind knows how to brainstorm. It's just, if you let your mind brainstorm in a negative way, it'll go to town. It'll go to town. Like, how many ways can this go bad? If you're a pessimistic type of thinker, holy smokes, you'll go to town thinking of all the different ways that it can go bad. So don't let yourself do that.
Yeah. And the brain has a negativity bias to begin with, because it is
Safety.
a survival organ.
Yeah.
And so it's looking for threats. So we have to program ourselves to look for positive experiences, for things that can go good, for things that can go our way, because they're out there. Everything is a possibility. So if there's a possibility that something can flop or something can go horribly, there's an equal possibility that it can go wonderfully. Okay. So we have to learn to believe that. And also to get past that fear of disappointment, that if it doesn't go amazingly well, then that's okay too, because I learned something from this experience. And I've built confidence towards this experience, like Zach was saying, with the how many ways, and then you start writing them down. And so now you're not only seeing how many ways you can get past this, but you're also building confidence. Like, wow, there's one way. Oh, wow, there's another way. Wow, I have 5-6 ways, and I'm not even done writing down. So then you're building confidence in yourself as well. So it's something that can help you to get past. And we all are going to go through, like, the ego feels threatened, the ego feels resistance or pushback, and then we have to implement our tools to get past that. That is a cyclical experience. That's not something that we get past once and it's done. It's something that will happen whenever we try something new. It's just you get better at it. You become more confident with it. You learn to trust yourself more and your ability to execute whatever it is that you want to achieve. And so therefore you start going through the process a bit quicker. And so you can do this by building confidence, and write down what happened when you acted. Write down how it turned out, because we're so easy to forget the positive, but it's not easy to forget the negative. We will remember that like we're elephants. And so it's just giving ourselves that permission to celebrate what went well, to learn from what didn't, and to remind our ego, I survived this. I may have failed, but I survived. Or I tried something new and I survived, because that's what matters. It wants to survive. That is the ego's main goal. That is why it gives us resistance and procrastinates, and it causes us to push back against something new, because it doesn't know if you're going to survive, because change equals the unknown equals a chance of death. So when we can remind ourselves, hey, I'm good, or look, we survived. Look at all of these other times that we've tried something and we've survived. Like, it will then become a little bit easier for you to press go and press play. And because the ego will always try to remind you of who you are. So you have to tell yourself who you are, because if you don't, your ego will decide for you based on past experiences. So just like Zach was saying, look for the positive, look for who do you want to be? Write it down. This is why we went over affirmations in the first couple calls, because we want you guys to actually do this and like write it down, read it every day. I have reminders in my calendar app on my iPhone. They go off throughout the day of just little sayings that I want to remind myself are possible for me. And I have something that I've recorded that I listen to at night, or I'll listen to it in a quick meditation that reminds me of what is possible, what I want to do. So do this for you, because it makes your ego. What this does, when you listen to affirmations, when you repeat affirmations, when you visualize the affirmation already happening, you are telling yourself, this already happened. The body doesn't know what's happened previously, what hasn't happened yet, or what currently is happening. It knows what you tell it via the stories that you're telling yourself based off of what you're currently experiencing. So when we can recite affirmations, when we can take a minute and just close our eyes and breathe into whatever it is that we want to create in our life, we want to be true, you are telling yourself, this is who I am. This is my life. This is what's true for me. So therefore, you are slowly but surely telling your ego, this is my reality. This is who I am. Remember, the ego is the collection of stories you tell yourself. That's one component of it. So tell yourself some bomb-ass stories so you can start creating a life that you really, really enjoy. And then the more that you tell yourself these stories, the more your ego's like, wow, that is me. Wow. So then you start finding, you walk into rooms and you carry yourself a little bit differently. You get on conversations with potential buyers or sellers or business partners or whatever, and you're showing up more confidently. You're posting on social media like, who is this person? And you're reading your post like, wow, that was really good. And you're showing up for dates and you're feeling good regardless of how the date turns out. And you're just like, you're going to the gym and you're like, I'm so proud of myself that I'm here. And you walk and you're checking yourself out in the mirror and you're not just staring at the floor, because you belong there, because you're taking care of yourself. You are literally programming a new identity into your mind. So don't take this stuff lightly, especially if there's something that you want. There's just simple little things that we can do. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple, but it does take repetition. And this can help our ego from not freaking out when we finally are ready to take the leap. So if we practice seeing ourselves at the gym for a week before we actually go, taking that first step into the gym doesn't feel so scary. If we practice signing a multi-million-dollar deal before it happens, signing that deal doesn't feel so intimidating. Right? We don't have that imposter syndrome as much. It still might be there. So these are just some little things that can help to prevent your ego from freaking out so much, because your ego will continue to freak out if there's an actual threat or it's perceived. A perceived threat can be an argument. It doesn't have to be like an actual, my life is threatened. It can be an argument. So we have to tell ourselves, this is who I am. This is how I show up. Otherwise, that negativity bias, that survival instinct will kick in.
Yeah, remember, it's all about you. It's all about you and your ego. So you can't control the other people. when we're thinking about all of this. So when you think about, all right, maybe I want this deal to happen. I want something from that deal to happen. Just know, and how many ways, can I get a deal like this to happen? Maybe it's not that specific deal. And that's okay. But
Yes.
knowing that there's always another deal out there, put that as one of the line items, then you're already prepping yourself that if things go wrong, I don't have to worry already, get down and then come back up to go and get that other deal. There's another deal that's right out there.
Yes.
Just have that abundance. And the same thing with a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's just, you're not going to be able to necessarily will the other person to do everything that you want, but you know how you want to show up in a relationship, and you know how you want to feel respected, loved, any of those things in a relationship. And so you can put that out there. How many ways can I give love and feel respected and give respect to other people? But one of those ways might be to get another person. And that's okay. That's just okay, right? So I'm not trying to tell you that you can fix everything around you like that. But what you can do is you can fix, if you want to use that word, yourself.
You can work with yourself.
You can work with yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
can
I was
evolve,
hoping
you can
she would use
Yeah.
that. Someone last night used the word fix themselves with regard to some of these type of vision and things like
You
that.
are not a project that needs work done.
Yeah.
You are in partnership with yourself.
That's
You
a
are in
negative
partnership.
connotation that I need fixing.
Yeah,
right?
your mind,
So,
body, and soul are in partnership with each other. This is why we don't look at the ego as this negative thing that is just a dead weight that we have to carry through life. No, we can program our ego to work for us. Just like our money can sit in a bank account and earn nothing, or we can invest it and have it work for us. Our ego is just whatever it's been conditioned to be. And we are malleable. So we can recondition our ego. Does it take some effort and time at first? Yes, but it becomes easier over time because you become more aware. And if you find yourself feeling stuck or feeling like, oh, I don't know where to go from here. What if you did know? What if you did know? What if you did know what was on the other side of this fear? What if you did know what you needed to get clarity? What would that be? Don't give yourself the option to say no or to set yourself up for failure. Like his question with how many ways. I always ask people, okay, I understand you're feeling that fear, but what if you did know? And then if you want something to work out, again, don't set yourself up for failure. Say, if it's not this, it's something better. And just program that into your psyche. If it's not going to be this, it's something better. I'm just being redirected to something better. There will be a lesson in this, or there will be some type of resource that I gain from this, but I'm being redirected to something better if it's not this. Again, perfect example is relationships. We've all been devastated when we've left relationships. How many of us want to be in a relationship with someone that we dated when we were 16 years old? I wouldn't. And so now, but I was devastated when I broke up with my high school sweetheart. And so now it's just know that it's just going to become better because you are becoming better, because you're growing, you're evolving, you're learning lessons, you're learning more about yourself, and you are expanding your view of the world around you. Thus, you're giving yourself more evidence that the world can work however you want it to work. Right.
Love it. Love it.